So I have two goals for you in this training, besides making it fun and besides making it as practical for each of you as I possibly can. My first goal for something called an all-star training is this: to turn every member of your audience into a loyal fan. I'll explain that a bit more in a moment, but the basic idea is that I don't just want the audience to like you. I don't just want the audience to buy what you're selling that day. I want to turn these folks into devoted fans of yours, the same way you might be devoted to a baseball team or another sport or a particular company, right? I want them to love you. And I know each of you has the capacity to make that happen. So they don't just like you, they're rooting for you. We'll talk more about that. The second goal, well, I'm gonna actually ask a little bit about this. Who knows who this is? Oh, thank God.
See, it shows you that sports is a game of inches.
It is.
Everything only misses that ball by what, an inch?
If you grew up in the Boston area in the 80s or in New England like I did, this is a very familiar image. I have this up here because, and we'll talk more about this, public speaking tends to be something people really shy away from. They don't do it unless they absolutely have to, and then even then they just, they grunt their way through it. It's not an enjoyable experience. And I'm going to ask you in a few minutes to sort of take a walk with me through the potential of public speaking and presentations as a skill and what it can offer you if you put some work into it and master it. And when I do that, I always think of Larry Bird. And the reason is that Larry Bird wasn't just a great basketball player, and he wasn't just the linchpin of the Celtics. I think of him as the give-me-the-ball guy. When the game was on the line, when they were playing the Lakers or the Sixers or whoever, and they were down by 2, and there were 4 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and they're in the huddle with Bill Fitch, right? The whole team standing around, they're calling the play. What would Bird say? Give me the ball, I'll get it in. I want you to be the give-me-the-ball person when it comes to presentations and public speaking in your organization. When everybody else is shying away, I want you to be the person who steps up and says, give me the ball, I'll get it done. And I want you to see how incredibly valuable you can make yourself just by being willing to do that. So that's the idea, to make you the give-me-the-ball person on your team. So let me talk a little bit about how we'll do this. First, we'll talk about your keys to a great game. We'll talk about public speaking's potential as a tool, as a talent and skill that you can build, and what it can mean to you, especially in the business world. We'll talk about zipping your yips. Who gets nervous when they speak? Yeah, me too. I do. It's a universal thing, and I'm going to show you exactly where that comes from, the physiological reason that your body freaks out when you speak in public, and we're going to brainstorm some things you can do to lower that anxiety level so you can enjoy it. We'll take a break after that. When we come back, we'll talk about executing the fundamentals. This is things like posture and eye contact and how you move around the room, how you use your voice, just to make sure that you're using those fundamentals to their greatest effect. And then finally, we'll wind things up with a little game show called the Spark Speaking Challenge, which should basically leave us in a mini riot by the end of our training.